You aren't the first person I've had on the show whose thing is the plant-based diet, and I'm not for a moment saying it's a fad, because both of our speakers before have come with plenty of evidence behind what they've said, and I'm assuming that you can do the same here. So, are you saying that the other diets don't work, or is your theme more what's sustainable for the planet, apart from anything else?
Good question. I mean, I think that there is less confusion out there than we would like to think, and the confusion is off, and some of the misinformation out there is mainly driven by media and, as you say, influencers, bit of clickbait, trying to get new followers. So I think the tenets of a healthy, sustainable diet have been known about for decades. It's not complicated. What you do around the edges and, how you alter protein, carbohydrate, fat ratios comes down to a bit more of a personalized approach, but the basics is very straightforward. A healthy diet is one that's centered around fruit, vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts and seeds, mainly water for thirst, tea and coffee if you enjoy it. And then, as I say, what you do around the edges, the kind of 10-15% of the diet, whether it's some animal source foods, whether it's some convenienced pre-prepared foods, that comes down to a personal choice. And then I think if we want to sort of elevate our dietary approaches by incorporating certain things like time-restricted eating or intermittent fasting, or lowering carbohydrate intake or elevating protein intake, that really is just the kind of, fine-tuning of what is a basic healthy diet. And we see that in all the country-based dietary guidelines. And then back to your point about sustainability, I think more and more guidance is incorporating both information around what's healthy for us as humans and what's healthy for the planet, because of course there are no healthy humans without a healthy planet, and our food system is one of the biggest drivers of climate and ecological breakdown. So I think they go hand in hand.
It's a challenge though, isn't it? Because healthy diet for a person can easily be separated in one's mind from what is sustainable for the planet. There's no one alive at the moment who is going to suffer the effects of an unsustainable diet, because that's a long-term thing. And we humans are very good at looking at the short term rather than worrying about the long term.
In part, but I think we're already seeing the consequences of climate change. We've got extreme temperature fluctuations, flooding, and this is leading to crop failure. I think I've just read in the last week how the UK harvest of crops has really been negatively impacted by our weather changes this year. So, and then we've all seen food prices rise, and this is a mixture of a combination of the political crisis that is out there, the geopolitical problems, but also the climate change aspect of things, and the fact that we haven't prioritized our own sort of food sovereignty and our local food production as much as we should have. Globalization has meant that we import so many of our healthy essential food items, and that gets disrupted by weather events or wars, conflict, etc.